It's National Cocktail Day, and do I have the cocktail for you? Welcome to Friday edition of Thirsty Thursday. I'm Mark. This is the Average Meat Channel. Today, coming from the echo chamber, that is now my tiki bar. I don't know what to do about the echo in here, but I think we can live with it. This is going to be a great program because we really have a fantastic cocktail for you in honor of National Cocktail Day and a great story. What we are going to be making today is the Atomic Cocktail. You heard right, the Atomic Cocktail. This has such a great backstory. Back in around about 1951, the entire city of Las Vegas promoted and advertised the Atomic Cocktail. Why? Because of what was going on in the country and specifically out there in the desert during the early 1950s. Atomic bomb testing. It's crazy, but this was really happening. And what they were doing is gathering in the sky room of the Desert Inn in Las Vegas. At that point, the sky room was the highest point in Las Vegas. You could see out over the desert for miles. And people would actually have what they called bomb parties. They could sit up there. No, it's not because they got bombed, although they probably did. But they could see for miles and miles and miles, and they would actually watch the atomic bomb detonations. They could see the mushroom clouds from the sky room. And they would have cocktails as they watched it. And so they needed to promote these events, and they used all kinds. That was called the atomic age back then. And they would promote it in all kinds of ways. They started coming up with, things based on rockets and the cosmos. And this Atomic Cocktail was a popular one. And like I said, the entire city, the Las Vegas Chamber of Commerce officially endorsed the Atomic Cocktail. How bizarre is that? So what we're going to be using is sherry. We're going to be using some champagne. It's supposed to be brut champagne. I'm going to be using some Prosecco, and we'll see how that works. We're also going to use vodka and brandy. And how did I start the show without my vodka and brandy? I don't know, but we got it taken care of now. We are going to use Smirnoff vodka for this one, and they don't specify a brand of brandy, so I'm going to use Korbel. Also needed for this one is a strainer shaker, and we are going to be garnishing that with an orange. I'm going to get the garnish ready first, and that way when the cocktail is ready. Oh my goodness, what is with this orange? Okay, take two. This is like a comedy of errors. There was something really funky going on inside that orange. So I went and got myself a fresh orange. I mean, of all things, I'm down here in southern Florida. If there's one thing we've got to get right, it's got to be our orange. You agree? So we're going to get our garnish prepared ahead of time. And then we're going to start building this cocktail. Let me push that out of the way for now. According to everything that I've read about the Atomic Cocktail, is we're not going to add the ice till the end, and then we're going to shake it very minimally. So 10 to 15 seconds. So let's get started. Now, this is going to be a pretty easy cocktail to make because it's pretty much equal parts of everything except the dry sherry. So we're going to go for 1.5 ounces of vodka. And then we're going to go for 1.5 ounces of the brandy. I can see why they call this Atomic. This has a lot of booze in it. Just going to knock you right to the ground. All right, and then it's only got 1/2 ounce of sherry. Where is my foil cutter? Yeah, I don't even think that needs a foil cutter. I think we can just get this off with our knife. This is kind of a fun show, isn't it? When we're doing everything wrong. Okay. So there we go. And this uses just 1/2 ounce of the sherry. And the sherry is really a fortified wine. So the only thing that's going to be a little different here is going to be that the recipes all call for brut. And I'm using the Prosecco, which is actually going to be, it's going to be moderately different. It's probably going to be a little sweeter, so I don't think that's really a big deal than the brut. And remember, we talked about how you open the champagne bottles, and unlike the movies, you don't want to push it off with your thumb and let it fly all over the place and put somebody's eye out. What you want to do is hold on to that cork and then twist the bottle, and off it comes. Boy, I might just have a little bit of that when we're done as well. So another 1.5 ounces. Oh, you know what? You don't add this until the end. So we're gonna put the bubbly aside, and we're gonna put a little bit of ice in there. And like we said, just a minor shake to chill it. Now it's set about 15 seconds, so that's about what that was. And then we're going to pour that into a chilled champagne glass and take our 1.5 ounces of champagne, which is supposed to be brut. And then, of course, we're going to garnish it. Now, all we need to do is be gazing out from high atop the Desert Inn sky room over the desert, watching these atomic bombs explode and having ourselves one of these. Wow, what a mix of flavors. Which one is the most powerful? Yeah, that's gonna knock me on my keister. I think the first thing I'm getting is champagne. Probably a bit drier than the brut would be. And the next thing I'm tasting is the brandy, I believe. This is a really different taste. I wouldn't quite call it an acquired taste, but there is, it really does. Yes, it's actually a really powerful champagne flavor, but this other stuff is coming through. You know, the thing is that the sherry with the champagne, it's hard to differentiate and distinguish which one I'm really getting here. But wow. Yeah, I think if you had a couple of these while you're watching some bombs explode, I see how that could be an issue. All right. Now, you see I have a second glass here because I did promise my lovely wife that I was going to make one for her as well. So once again, we're going to put in 1.5 ounces, which of course would be, you know, we call it 1.5 ounces, but each one of these things is just a shot. I could have done this from my double-sided shot glass, right? Because that would be 1.5 ounces, and then that, I think on mine, the 1/2 ounce of sherry, with that double-sided shot glass, it's actually going to come out as more like, I don't know, 3/4 of an ounce. But there goes the sherry. The ice is already in there, so we're just going to shake. And you notice I didn't go whoo this time, but it is cold on my hands, so I did it there. And we're going to pour that, and then we're going to get our Brut. As I already indicated, I'm not really using Brut. And now I can enjoy an atomic cocktail with my better half. So I hope you enjoyed this delightfully crazy story. And for National Cocktail Day, I was kind of disorganized, wasn't I? But I hope that you give it a try anyway. I think I kind of like it. And I'm really glad I used the Prosecco instead of the Brut, because it's slightly sweeter, and I think that that's more my palate. So I do like it. I don't know what the orange does exactly, because there is, you know, we're talking primarily grapes when we're talking about the, are you hearing that? The ice of my ice machine over there keeps going. But we're talking about things that are coming from grapes when we talk about sherry. We're talking about brandy. And, you know, I don't know really where the citrus comes in, other than to say the orange, you get the citrus when you bring it up to your nose. But I am enjoying it. So I hope that you enjoyed the video as well. And, you know, please subscribe if you haven't already. You've watched the show enough. I need it. You know, it means a lot to small channels like this to give me the thumbs up and to subscribe. So we got over 10,000 subscribers, and I want to thank you all for that. But, you know, let's get up to 15, right? And thanks for joining me. I'm going to get bombed.